Clever Crew, we are back. You get full length Kat and Candace today. No guests, all the not nice advice, life updates, I'm sure a few surprises or two. We never know what happens when we hit record here at Not Nice Clever, but we're back. Welcome back, Candace. Are you like a completely different person? I feel like a completely different person.
Might be a completely different person. Yeah, it's crazy being a mom.
It is. So, I know that we talked about this before we hopped on, but I feel like this time of year, and maybe any time of year, if you get sick or there's the holidays, right now, summer's coming up. And I'm getting a lot of questions. I know you are too about going on vacation or taking some time off or feeling burnt out. Like I remember one of my friends was talking about how she was so burnt out on graduation season because she had so many like of her kids and her kids' friends like graduating in summertime. And so it's just like the questions have come up about what do you do with maintaining your business and your life when you do take breaks or when you do go on vacation, and it's like, is it okay, and how long is too long or too short? And it's just, it seems like we need to hand out a lot of permission slips when it comes to taking time off. So you're the queen of this.
Love giving permission slips. My teacher background loves that. What
All
I
of them.
learned as a teacher was that giving permission slips was basically bullshit. It's fake. Like a piece of paper that says you have permission. It's so dumb.
Yeah, yeah.
That I've just carried that into my life and realized like the piece of paper literally means nothing. So you
Hmm.
already have permission.
Yeah.
It's crazy. But I learned recently, Kat, that there's a name for this period of time that moms use. I think I'm learning mom lingo now,
Oh,
and it
okay.
is
Do tell.
Maycember. Have you heard of this?
Maycember.
Maycember.
I have not, but you know me, I love to learn a new word. So
Well, with if you were just to hear Maycember, what does
mhm.
that mean to
I
you?
think of May to December and like May
Mm,
December relationships.
mm.
I hear and think of like it's a 6 month blur, like May to December. You're like, what? You know? So I don't know. Those are my
So that's
initial
your initial thoughts. So
impressions. Don't judge me
totally
for
new to
anything I
me. I
said.
learned this last week.
Okay.
And apparently, it's, you know, how December feels kind of frazzled and like you don't really get any work done because there's so many events and with the holidays, all the
Retrogrades.
things, family, travel, everything, right?
Hmm.
Well, May apparently feels much like that to parents because of end of school. And there's always that weird spirit week where every single day they have to dress a certain way and moms are running around town buying all the different things. And um, taking stuff to the potlucks or whatever. There's just a lot
Mm.
of things going on. And so May is kind of another like lost month, just like
Oh,
December is. So Maycember.
Maycember. Okay.
Yeah.
I get it. Not what I was thinking, but I get it.
Yeah.
And
So with that,
mhm.
I think there's a lot of people feeling guilty about not being as productive as they'd like to be maybe in their business.
Mhm.
Um, And now is really a time to reflect on how you want May to feel. Do you want
Yeah.
it to feel like you're full of guilt and shame?
Yeah.
I don't.
No. Those are useless emotions. Those don't help you be more
Not at all.
loving and more clear and stronger. So, okay. Well, that's great to hear because May has definitely been frazzling for me. April was crazy. I want to know, like, again, selfishly, because this is on the horizon for me sometime soon, like your idea of taking maternity leave
Hmm.
as an entrepreneur, somebody like who we have this podcast together, like, was there anything that you thought was going to happen that didn't happen or that you were surprised about? Because you took so much time off, which I was so excited for. And then you're easing back in, and it's like
Yep.
things are still going, business is still running, you know?
Yeah. So I technically took 4 months off. Well, three
Mhm.
and a half. We're at four. Yesterday was 4 months. Isla turned 4 months yesterday. So 3.5 months I took off. And in that time, my content, the previous content that I've made for the last few years, because I didn't make any content basically the whole time I was gone,
Mhm.
the previous content still allowed me to do business. So I was able to actually have a better quarter one in 2025 than I did in 2024, even though I did not post anything except maybe, our podcast that popped up that I didn't post. Someone else did it for me.
Yeah.
And maybe some random pictures here and there. But that to me tells me how important it is to stay on top of creating your online presence because I didn't have to worry about not getting paid for my whole maternity leave because
Mhm.
people were still reaching out to me and wanting to work with me and even willing to wait for me because of the content that I've already produced. Something that surprised me was that I was pretty much ready to be like, okay, I'm not making any money for 3.5
Right.
months.
Yeah.
And I actually made more money this year in Q1 than I did last year. So that's pretty wild. The other
Yeah.
thing is that I was really torn about coming back to work, and I thought I would want to immediately come back to work. But watching how quickly my baby has grown, it makes me sad that I'm missing any time with her because literally day to day, you're like, oh my gosh, this outfit doesn't fit her anymore. Or now she's holding her own toys. She doesn't even need me anymore, right? Like there's
Oh
just little
my.
tiny things
Yeah.
that she does on her own. And you're like, it really does go by fast. I know it's cliche and everyone says that. Literally, no matter where I go, someone's stopping me and telling me, cherish every moment. It goes by so fast. It goes by so fast. Like, I can't tell you how many times Dominic have heard that. Like, whether
Yeah.
we're just running errands at Costco, we're at church, we're at the supermarket, someone is telling us that.
I know I've even seen it. Like I got to meet Isla in person when we were in LA for Andrew Jevin's social summit, which was amazing. And I remember seeing what she looked like then. Also, Clever Crew, I'll share, like in my mind, I wondered, I was like, is she gonna come back a different person or like in her motherhood era or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
And then I remember we are waiting in the lobby for you and the elevator door opened and you were wearing your this like cheetah or leopard print duster. It's like one of your favorite
Yeah.
ones and you just had you were like you had your hand on the stroller and you're like what's up and like it was you but like with a baby, you know.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, oh, it's still Candace. And
Yeah.
but seeing her then and then you send me photos now and I'm like that's a whole different baby.
Yeah,
Like
they grow literally so quickly. I was just looking at her newborn photos and she looks so different and I
mhm,
almost forgot what she looked like before. So I'm thankful that I get to make my own schedule, that I mostly get to work from home. I mean, I get to travel, but I'm taking Isla with me. And I can't imagine having to be the mom who goes to the office and
yeah,
has to leave her baby. That I can't even imagine it. And I didn't know I was going to be this kind of mom, but like I just want to be with her as much as possible.
yeah.
I just
No,
want to
I
squeeze
think
her.
she's very squeezable.
Yeah.
It's very squeezable and I've only met her once.
I also cry a lot more, Dom will tell you. So just like full
Oh,
transparency, like
okay.
everything makes me cry. He always sends me videos about moms talking about like their kids growing up, and like I will cry at
I feel
any
like that's intentional. He's trying to
right?
like be like,
Yeah.
"Sir."
Yep. I cry at anything that talks about like kids growing up. That makes me so sad.
Mhm.
I immediately wanted another baby, like literally came home and was like, ready for the next one.
Let's go.
Yeah. Doctor's like, okay, chill out.
Yeah, yeah.
But I didn't know I was gonna feel like that. Like that was all new to me. I
Mhm.
do feel like maybe there's a little bit of softening in me after becoming a mom.
Yeah. And that's like not a bad thing. I feel like slowing down and taking time off and taking breaks and taking vacations gets a bad rap, but I'll share like for me, the month of April in a business sense was for me the like pretty much a wash. Like I feel like I didn't create any original piece of content. I barely kept up with my weekly newsletter. I was just going through a lot on the family front and April was a blur. And most of May felt like a blur. And really, the only thing I kept up on was my email newsletter because I love to write and I love to
Therapeutic.
it was so therapeutic. It was almost therapy. I wasn't even doing it. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, this does make me money and get me speaking engagements. But like, really, it's therapeutic. And same, like, I was accepting the amazing reels that Corinne, our producer, puts together for us, and especially the baby ones. Guys, if you have not seen the baby ones. But then I was talking to my dad about it, and he was like, okay, he's like, so you take a month off. How many months are there in a year? And I'm like, 12. He's like, okay, and you're crying about 1 month. He said it nicer than that, but
Hmm.
like it was just a good perspective, like reset. And of course, as after I, fully like unplug and I take care of myself and I do what I need to do, mid-May comes around, people are reaching out. I booked a couple of speaking engagements. Like people are still sending me emails saying like how much they appreciate my content. And like you said, that library that we have spent years building consistently, a month off doesn't erase
It doesn't erase
all of
it.
that. And it felt so good to have that. Like as a strategist and a consultant, I know that that's true, but there's a little part of you that doesn't trust it.
You're like, is that true? Yeah.
But like, is it really, you know? And it was a nice affirmation for me to see.
And past clients consistently sending referrals is also amazing. So
I
thank
heard
you to
about you
all our
here,
past
so and
clients,
so. Yes.
yes, who have
Thank you.
sent me people even while I was on maternity leave. That was much appreciated. I feel so grateful for that. And that
Yeah.
comes down to real relationships like we talk about all the time. This is not just a transaction. This is about caring for someone. And when you make them feel cared for, they care for you in return. And
Hmm.
I felt well taken care of during my maternity leave,
Yeah.
for sure.
About the journey, not just like the job at hand,
Mhm.
you know? So we mentioned we've got some not nice advice. Obviously, we've got a ton of questions building up. You guys ask us questions in our client sessions if you're actively working with us. Candace, there's one from, oh boy, she signed it baby on my hip.
Oh,
I can
shoot.
like totally
Okay.
imagine that. Um, slash business on fire. Okay, so are you ready for this, Candace?
I guess. Let's do it.
I know, right? So she says, I've been following Candace's journey and just had a baby myself. I'm trying to run a business in between feedings. Oh, I think I know who this is. In between feedings, diaper changes, and total sleep deprivation. But I feel like I'm failing at all of it. What does balance actually look like when you're juggling a newborn and also trying to be professional and stay afloat?
Yeah, I think this is like Panera pick two scenario. Like you just pick two. You don't you,
Did you
you
just come up
don't
with that?
I actually have been mulling that around for the last
I
few
like
weeks.
it. I like it.
Um so you're just going to choose two things that you want to be good at, and they don't have to be big things. For
Mm,
example, for me, I knew that I wasn't going to feel good on my maternity leave if I didn't take a shower and get ready every day, even if I didn't go anywhere.
oh
And
yeah,
I
no,
was
just
like,
the
how
act
do
of it.
people say they don't take showers when they have newborns? Like, to me, I knew I would feel shitty. I knew I'd probably spiral. Maybe I'd get into depression. And
Hmm.
that was going to not be good for me. So I told Dom, make sure every single day, no matter what I say, I take a shower and I
Hmm.
get ready. And I did that every single day. And sometimes that meant that Isla was in her bouncer outside of my shower. And maybe she was fussing, maybe she was crying, but I took a
Hmm.
few minutes to take my shower and get ready. That helped me feel like a human. That helped me feel put together. And so that was one of the things of the pick two that I was good at,
Showering.
showering. And you have to
Look,
celebrate
I love
stuff
a good
like that.
shower, so I'm like
Yes,
bowing down to
like
that.
when you are postpartum, you have to just pick two things that you want to feel good about that you commit to doing. That's it. And so maybe that's getting out one email every week. That's your second thing. There you go. So you're
Yeah.
showered and you sent out an email, you're winning. I think we put way too much pressure on ourselves to feel like we can do it all. Like you absolutely need help. No one's doing this alone.
Yeah.
I mean, if they are, I feel terrible for them and I want to help them, right?
Yeah.
Like, so the people who are killing it that you're watching out there that you're like, wow, she's amazing. She's a mom and she's running her business and everything is just going well for her. She has help.
Yeah. Oh,
That's just it
yeah.
at the end of the day.
I want to call out those like trad mom trends. This
Okay.
may or may
Yeah.
not like cause a shitstorm in the comments, but I have seen those reels. I've seen those YouTube shorts about trad moms doing like making homemade cough drops and like loading and unloading the dishwasher with their children. And while I fully advocate for you parenting however you want to parent, the lack of transparency in those types of reels and knowing that
Yeah,
like
I mean,
they're
someone is watching
supported
their
and
baby
privileged and
while
all
they're
that.
making while
Exactly.
while they're making the cough drops. Most
Exactly.
likely, right?
So like
Maybe it's a
if you're
family
seeing
member, maybe it's
that,
a friend, maybe it's whatever.
someone,
Something to
nobody does
me,
it by themselves.
as someone who's been a mom for 4 months, I just don't think you
You're
do
basically
it.
an expert.
Yeah, basically an expert. But no
Yeah.
one is doing everything by
Yeah.
themselves because it's just not humanly possible. Like if you're going to work, someone has to care for your baby. And sometimes going to work is making a reel, is editing a video,
Yeah.
is in some people's cases baking a cake. That is going to work for them,
Right.
and they're not 100% of the time doing it with their child on the hip and making money while
Right.
doing it.
Yeah. So baby on my hip,
I'm
don't
gonna,
compare
someone's
yourself
gonna
to
come in the comments and tell me that they are. And
they
actually, I want to
totally
meet you if
are.
you are. Tell me your secrets, please.
Honestly, are you superwoman? Like that's
Yeah. Like,
this lie of like not lie, but this illusion, you know, that it's like we
mhm.
have it all together and all the time. And I'm not even a mom yet. I'm like a stepmom and I
And you know.
I know and I'm very aware. And I might have the same fears once I eventually have a kid of my own. But like that's when I'll call up Candace and she'll be like, "Stop it. Stop. Just stop being silly."
I'm really thankful for my own mom. She came over
Mm.
like the first week that Isla was born and she cooked for
Aw.
me and helped me for the first week. And then pretty much every week after that, she came and spent the night one day every week and just helped me with the baby in some capacity. And
Mm-hmm.
she was working too. So she's like on her laptop working. I might have been like on
Love
maternity
it.
leave, but on my laptop working, and we would kind of switch off who's
Yeah.
holding the baby, who's putting her down for a nap. And that was really nice. And I'm so grateful that I had that ability. I know not everyone has their mom to help like that. And
Yeah.
so that also changed the way I felt about my mom. Wow, being a mom is just a superpower because my mom was just helping me so much and I'm, 41. It doesn't stop.
Guys, I still don't believe that Candace is 41. I card her every time I see her in person.
I was telling my mom like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe how much Isla's grown already. It makes me so sad that she's not like a little baby anymore." And my mom's like, "Yeah, imagine how I feel." And it really hit me. I was like, "Now I get that. I get what that means when she
Hmm.
says that because like I've heard it before. I'm like, "Okay, mom, whatever, you're so dramatic." Now I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, no, that's crazy. I can't imagine
Yeah.
my kid being 41."
And you'll be 82,
I know. Oh,
which
it's
basically
wild.
just means you'll be 65. So it's all good. It's all good.
My grandma's like 83 and she's
She's kicking.
amazing. Yeah, and fashionable and great. So good for
Claro,
her.
of course. I love that. We have another not nice advice question. Do you want to read this one, Candace?
Okay, yes, I do. I'm exhausted, like soul tired. hmm But every time I even think about stepping back from my business, I get this wave of guilt that I'm being lazy or giving up. Is it actually possible to take a break without losing all my momentum?
Did an alternate version of myself write this question? uh, First thing I'll say is I've been there. I think Candace has been there. I think Corinne has been there. I think the belief that I would kind of look at and just sit with is your worthiness doesn't come from your busyness, and being busy doesn't mean that you're productive. Being busy doesn't mean that you're useful or effective or efficient. Those are two separate things. Um, Resting is an activity. It has return on investment. It is not lazy. I think just honestly, I would start out like writing down that rest is not lazy, rest is a requirement, and just write it down as many times as you need to rewire your brain. Because I wrote down for a certain amount of time, rest has ROI. Because I always think in terms of results. I'm like, what is this getting me? Is this
hmm
getting me more time, more energy, more money, more social status, more comfort, whatever it is? And rest is a choice. It does have return. Doesn't mean you're lazy. And like Candace and I have proven, Candace took 4 months off. I took a month off. I stopped all of my marketing activities except for one thing, and I'm still booking business, and Candace is still booking business. So, like, we are evidence that pausing is not going to lead you to burning everything down to the ground. And I think just really, yeah, finding like small ways to step back. If taking your foot off the pedal like freaks you out so much, just take an extra hour back each day and then take
Yeah.
an extra 2 hours, right? And like ease yourself into it. Cause I get it's hard to like completely rewire how you look at building your calendar. Like, I don't know about you, Candace, but my calendar now versus what it looked like in 2019, so much cleaner. I have
My
more
calendar is,
blocks, right? I have more
yeah,
blocks for like my
I
work than I
own
do
my
for
time
actual
more.
meetings. Yeah.
Yes. And I think that's something that everyone should look at is look at your calendar. Are you being run by meetings with people that you feel like you have to be at, or are you really allowing yourself time and space to do the things that you know you need to do to move your business forward?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's probably a lot of things that you're doing right now. Actually, Kat and I talked to someone today. We were on a consultation with a potential client who was
Yeah.
telling us all the millions of things that she was doing, and really only two of them are bringing her business. Why are we doing all these other things, right? So Kat and I were like, easy, chop off 90% of the things that you're doing and
Right.
focus on what's bringing you results, and your business will explode. And
Mm-hmm.
so that might be you right now. You might be filling your calendar with things that you feel like you're supposed to do that other
Mm-hmm.
people are doing that are working for other people, but you're not actually thinking what's bringing you the biggest ROI for the least amount of time investment. And that's, as a mom, that's what I'm thinking about now. I'm thinking about how do I have the most space in my life to be with my baby as often as I want to.
Hmm.
and, still feel fulfilled professionally, because that does matter to me, and I don't want to not work.
Yeah.
I just want to be smart about it. And another thing that I was thinking about, going back to my question about baby on my hip, business on fire,
Yeah.
I'm thinking also about how to just tap into the people you already know. So many of us forget that there is business to be done with someone you already know. You don't need to find someone new. And
Hmm.
so on Friday, send out 5 emails to people you already know. I can think about people in my mind right now who I haven't connected with for months, that I know if I sent him an email and was like, "Hey, Tim, how are things going? Anything I can help you with?" He'd be like, "Oh, yeah, so and so needs this, so and so needs that. And can you do this?" I'd be like,
Hmm.
"Sure." That's going to build momentum, and that's a warm lead.
I think in addition to that, yes, like reminding burnt out but ambitious, because girl, we love ambition. Like, and to what Candace had said earlier, nobody does it alone. So, like, if you're trying to glorify doing it all by myself, I'm bootstrapping it, it's all on me, it's me, it's like there's no glory in being a martyr for your own business.
There isn't.
Nobody breaks through or scales by themselves. And if they do, they're probably not being honest with themselves. Like there were many favorite moments from Diary of a CEO's interview with Trevor Noah,
Hmm.
but many definitely go check out that episode. But one that sticks out in my mind right now is Trevor Noah is like, the word self made is so funny to me that like you think as a human being interconnected as a part of this world in this race that you are self made, like you suddenly all by yourself became successful. And he's like,
Mhm.
it's a crock of shit.
It is.
It's not true.
That's so good.
Right. And I
Yeah.
agree, because I think about the success of our partnership and collaboration. And it's like, I'll say this, Clever Crew, there is no way I know myself. I would have gotten past episode 5 without being in partnership with Candace. This works with us together, and then
Yeah.
having our
And I'd say the same
producer
exact
and
thing. Yeah.
yeah, just don't do it by yourself. The last thing I'll say is that actually, Candace, I love being lazy. Girl, rebrand the
I
word
love that for
lazy,
you.
right? Because
Yeah.
what does it actually mean? It
I
means you
feel
get
like I
to
saw a brand recently that's like called something like the Lazy CEO or something like that,
love
where
that.
it's all about kind of, I know this word is not the best, but like hacks on how to do things like the
Yeah.
lazy way in quotation marks.
I look at being lazy as you're leveraging. Like you have the ability to chill. You have the ability to take your time. You have the ability to indulge in leisurely activities. You worked hard for that and smart. It's not a bad thing.
There's a trend on Instagram right now, and I'm going to butcher it, but it says something like, "I almost forgot this was the whole point."
I saw our friend Dan posted that. That was a trend I think I saved. I want to bookmark that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
And I want you to think about Clever Crew. What's that video that plays on the reel that says, "I almost forgot this is the whole point"? And that video that's playing in your mind that you would put with that reel, is that what goes on in your life more often than not? If that's sitting with your kid on the beach, are you being okay with that only being once a year? 'Cause I'm not.
Yeah. For me right now, it's being able to travel. Like I was just thinking we booked a getaway to the Pocono Mountains in July. And I was telling Will, I was like, we should come back on this day so we have a day to decompress. And then 2 weeks later, I'll probably fly out to Scottsdale and spend time with Candace. And just being able to do that, like book flights
Yeah.
where I'm like having fun with friends, but also maybe working, but also at the same time, because like work life balance, I've now replaced the word balance with harmony
I love
because
that.
yeah, like I'd seen a reel, I don't know, a year ago where it was like the idea that marriage or partnership is 50-50 is like laughable because that's not true. There's going to be times when one partner is carrying more of the load and the other partner needs support. And then vice
Mhm.
versa, it toggles,
Right.
And
That's what
so it's like
partnership is.
that's
Yeah.
in harmony. So I
I
love
love
that.
that. And this reminds me, the other day I had a appointment on a Saturday. And so I told Dom, I was like, "Hey, I'm gonna go here. You got the baby, basically, right?"
Yeah.
And so he's like, "Okay." He's like, "Oh, is this like a friend or is this business?" And I literally had to stop and think, is this a friend or is this business? Because the lines are so blurred now. I said both.
Yeah.
I don't really know. Like, I'm having coffee with my friend who I'll likely do business with.
There we go.
That's it.
And the only
I don't
reason I do
know.
business with them is because I value them, they value me, we have shared values, and I respect them. Like, so we're also friends.
Yeah, feels good to do business with people that I enjoy.
That's the dream. Burnt
Mhm,
out but ambitious. Just wait until you are able to say no to business. You will
mhm.
get to that point where you can say no and just say yes when it feels like a full body yes. So, as
I
we
see.
wrap this episode, let's wrap it with some not nice advice that we wish someone had given us. Candace, what's some not nice advice? With what you are navigating, you wish someone had given you.
I wish someone just said, do it your way. There's not one way to be a mom. Motherhood doesn't only look like this, fill in the blank. I wish someone just said, do what feels good to you. How about you, Kat?
I mean, you know me, I'm bougie. I love my relaxation time, love my self-care, but wish somebody had told me that like it doesn't matter how much time you take off or how many vacations you go on or how often your phone's on do not disturb. That doesn't fully fix feeling burnt out. Putting boundaries in your life does. Because I know people who are so well boundaried and they work 6 to 7 days a week and they're fine with it. And I know people that are so well boundaried that they work 1 day a week and they're fine with it. So it's a mix, breaks and boundaries. Well, Clever Crew, thank you for joining us for our not nice advice slash life updates episode. Definitely tap the link in the show notes so that you can submit your question for a chance to be answered on our next Not Nice Advice segment with a guest or maybe just with Candace and I. Who knows? We'll see.
There you go. Thanks for joining us on Not Nice, Clever.
Remember to follow Not Nice Clever wherever you listen to audio.
And if you haven't already, drop that 5-star review.
Share your takeaways. Tell us your story. We love to hear it.
Signing off, you're not so nice, but oh so clever besties that mean business.
See you soon.